Huge game then for both these sides as the countdown to the World Cup continues. England with that hit out against Wales last weekend. They've won all but one meeting with France since 2007. So heavy favourites going into this as Tara Stanley gets us underway. France with the first use of the football. It's Gaël Alverne who takes that first carry. Hooker is Mansart, and now Bessali of the Catalan Goddesses. 5 France international caps for her. Mansart once more.
Well, Ben, both sets of players, it's pivotal really in preparation for the World Cup come the end of the year. And France, everyone's expecting England to do a decent performance, come up with another good result after last week's victory over Wales. But this France side, they're physical, they like to play. Anyone who's ever played against the French side know that they have some flair. But what they really do need is an energetic start against England.
15 of the 17 on show for France contested the Elite One Women's Grand Final last month as Catalan Goddesses faced Lescure. This is the first chance to see Tara Stanley in action.
And that's a decent first set as well for France. Gone the full length of the field, pinned Tara Stanley in the corner. And if there's one thing we know from watching this French team, they are physical. As you can see from the first shot coming in, Elise Varela, part of that contact. And that's where France will pose England a problem. Last year's test in Perpignan, first score was 25 minutes in its origins, and there was some fierce contact in the middle of the field.
Leah Burke it was who felt that contact. Her second international cap. Faced Wales last weekend. The kick is from Roach. Turns full back around and work for Elisa Akba to do. The chase is really good from England as well, led by Goldthorpe, who is no slouch, it's fair to say.
Well, physical set 6 then from France, like John said. England give the first penalty away. This France side will just keep doing the basics, and that's all they need to do. Leah Burke, who just to have gone high here, and the referee, James Jones, straight away puts the whistle to his mouth.
I echo the sentiments of what was said in the studio by Danica Priem as well. You know, England need a test. They need a physical test, and they'll get one. But they also need a test of their discipline in their defensive line. And France will offer that as well. Plenty of pre-line from the stuff that we've seen in preparation for this game. They can play.
France then back in possession. Craig Richards looks on. He's made 5 changes to the 17 victorious at Pandy Park a week ago. And now Mansart. Got the only French points in that 54-4 loss, I should say, to England.
Well, 4 years ago. They got a set restart as well here, Ben. And this is good field position for them. Mansart's got options either side of the rope.
25 away with Bessali. It's now Montserrat. Mansart again. Picks out Syria this time. Biville. Lorraine Biville.
There's another notable thing from their attacking play in the test from last year. They love playing a short side. They hit that plenty of times. England up to the task so far.
Gaël Alverne gets France to within 5 metres, but there's an England player down.
Yeah, that was a good line from Alverne, wasn't it? And a big, strong carry. And Field just felt the effects of that hit.
Grace Field, she's a huge asset for this England side. She had an excellent game last week, as did Liv Wood, who was on debut. It's her front row partner today. The doctors will assess. She looked to go awkwardly into that defensive tackle. And the physio just assessing Grace Field's ability to carry on.
French coach Vincent Balou watching on, a former coach of Bordeaux, assisted by Frankie Goffin.
See Grace Field as well, just indicates the referee when he came into the side of the screen that she thought that she was there was an elbow in there from the French player. Been given the thumbs up by the physio, so Craig Richards will not be forced into any early changes. Grace Field good to continue.
She made her England debut in Goroka, Papua New Guinea, back in 2019.
Okay, time's on.
France on the attack as Alverne plays the ball. Syria. Pakul manages to smuggle that ball back, but the England defence really in the faces of this French attack. Mensah will play it. On the bounce. Hardcastle is there, but she can't prevent the offload, and Syria away this time for Alverne. She puts boot to ball. To Testa for Leah Burke.
And again, just some decent line speed here from France, but it was a poor kick to end the set with. Then they got lucky with a couple of offloads and managed to kick the ball down into the corner. England looking to open up the field here and just try and find some space in this French defensive line. It's pretty tight and good line speed. Again, look at that, there's some good contact.
Heavy contact with Grace Field. We can go downstairs to Jenna.
Yeah, Ben, it's a big weekend for International Rugby League. It's also a very big weekend for the women's game tomorrow morning. History will be made when Pilkington Rex under-7s will field the first ever all-girls rugby league team at this age group in this country. And you can see them there. They are the girls. We, of course, want to wish them all the very best for tomorrow morning.
14.
Absolutely, Jenna, well said. This crowd looking forward to this international doubleheader. But England, heavy favourites, as I mentioned, and not having things their own way in this opening 5 minutes.
Well, they need to be disciplined as well here now. They've got France where they want them. They've been finding difficult, and there's the penalty. No, they'd be so disappointed. They found it hard to get away from their line carrying the ball because this France team have been getting off the line and really playing on the front foot defensively, and then they gift the penalty, which will be 20-30 metres from the high shot from Tara Jones.
The penalty's not found touch, but Tara Stanley has come up with an error. She had the opportunity to stop that from going into touch. She's knocked on in the process of trying to do that, so that'll be essentially where the French wanted to be at the end of that. I'll tell you one to look out for the French. The loose forward, number 13, Leah Basali. She's very, very physical, aggressive player, but she's got some hands as well. Very skillful passer of a ball. So I think she's a real danger for England today.
25 years of age now, born in Perpignan. 6th French cap this afternoon. Syria fed the scrum. Rocked back was Georgia Roche there.
Keep coming, England. Hold with me here. Wait, go one.
Now Mensah, Pakul.
2. Come on. Hold. No, stuck in
Names
there.
Sam Tompkins as an inspiration. Elodie Pakul. And her debut last year in French colours. Away by Margot Canal. Montserrat. France bossing the territory, bossing the possession. It's a great start for Vincent Boulou. Akpa. Last one coming up. Biville.
It's okay. Kick it.
Kick hits the post. Tara Stanley couldn't get there.
Well, it was an improvised kick, wasn't it? The pass wasn't the best one. And the French half just got their hand to it. Tara Stanley, the post got in the way, and Georgia Roche it was who knocked the ball behind. Look, in many ways, this is a good test for the English, particularly early on. They've been asked plenty of questions. That's exactly what we were looking for. We were looking for a high-quality opposition, looking for a high-quality test. And the French have been up to it so far. They are asking plenty of questions.
Plenty of international action going on this weekend, and full-time in Halifax, and Ireland have beaten Scotland 52-22 in that wheelchair international. Basali for France, and don't forget, England and France will go head-to-head live on Sky Sports for you tomorrow as well. The wheelchair international is live from 3 o'clock on Sky Sports Arena. Here is Sarah Menard. Holly Dodd downstairs. Mansard gets that ball away, but not cleanly. Off Pakul.
It's okay, she's okay, no traction.
Akpa. And now Biville. 15 away, France.
Marker was okay.
Nice skill from Elisa Akpa again. 30 years of age, an occupational therapist. She plays the ball 10 metres away. The kick comes from Syria. Again, it almost hit the post, and they're almost in here. It was Basali who was trying to find the opportunity. Great defence from England.
Well,
Thorpe just about there.
Tara Jones, look at the pressure here. So to get that kick away shows the skill that France have close to the line. That short kicking game can be so important to a team. And you can see it took an awkward bounce under some pressure. And like John said, England didn't want to turn up here today and just have it all their own way. They're not going to get that in the World Cup.
Elisa Akpa. As France continue this onslaught. It's been such an impressive opening 9 minutes from the visitors. Almost through. Here's the captain, Varela. It's now Mansar. Cynthia Mansar.
She started really strongly, Mansar.
Just 4 metres or so away, France, and deserve a try given their start to this game. Can England hold out? Montserrat. Now Biville.
Pass it on the ball.
And it's a forward pass that's been called.
Option England. 10-20 middle. 10-20 middle.
You know, it's just that forward pass, I think, that's been offered. That's an interesting battle that's developing, isn't it? And that right-hand channel between Biville and Amy Hardcastle. Amy Hardcastle, all on the defensive. We know what she can do when she's got the ball. She's having to be on the top of a game to repel Biville at the moment. What a player she is. Hopefully see her in full flight later on today. I'll tell you what, continued pressure from the French. There's another stoppage in play, Ben, for another head injury assessment, I think.
Work in the rucks now, ladies, is a better good response. Okay, thank you.
England line holding out. They only conceded 1 try in both matches last year. They beat Wales 60-0 and also won 40 points to 4 in Perpignan.
Yeah. That's okay, mate. No
Craig
problem.
Richards will have expected a test. He's got exactly that in this opening 10 minutes or so.
You cast your mind back to the last time these two sides met in Perpignan. The criticism of the French was that their passages of play were so inconsistent. They couldn't complete a set of 6. Ball kept going to ground. Missed opportunities, passes not made, passes dropped. We've seen none of that. And the French coach, Vincent Balout, will be very, very happy with the start that his charges have made.
Okay, set the scrum.
They've looked an altogether different prospect.
Wait now. Time is on. Wait,
absolutely, 40 points to 4, as you say, and Emily Rudge with 2 of England's 7 tries that night. Here is Goldthorpe. Manages to get the ball away.
0.
Fantastic pass to find Leah Berg. Here is Stanley now.
0. 1.
England taken aback, I'm sure, by this French star. Hardly had possession. This is more like it, though. Holly Dodd of the York City Knights. Here is Liv Wood.
Yeah, she was impressive last week. She made a debut against Wales down in Pandy Park and retains her position this week. Excellent start to life as an international.
When he turns 21 next month, this is good from Roach.
Yeah, she's a good player as well, Georgia Roach. I do like the way that she goes at the defensive line. Very creative player. Earned aside another set of 6 here.
Former Castleford and Featherstone player. Switched to the Leeds Rhinos this year. Set restart for England. Chance to put the French line under some pressure.
Well, another set restart they've got.
Jones for Dodd.
Now they're setting up to come left. Take a look at Tara Stanley out the back here. Winfield Hill won the ball.
Winfield Hill picks out Grace Field, coming back the other way. Tara Jones. Here is Courtney Winfield Hill. It's a short ball for Rudge. Emily Rudge is put down by Syria, but England just a couple of metres away. Jones. The runner was Grace Field. She couldn't take the pass in.
Melee.
So France will have possession again in a minute. First attack for England.
Well, England's left edge is so strong, and why wouldn't you go to that side when you've got Amy Hardcastle? Emily Rudge, the captain, she runs one of the best lines in the competition. Outstanding. 2 real strikes, and like John said, Tara Stanley out the back. And if Winfield Hill can just pull the strings and just hold up those defenders, they will have some joy over on England's left-hand side. Got some genuine speedsters as well.
They've got some great footwork. I mean, for those who've maybe joining us for the first game of Women's Rugby League, or a first international for that matter, Tara Stanley at the back, as far as left foot steps go, and then doubling up on that left foot step as well. That is wicked, and really, really will. I mean, the French, if they've done the homework, they'll be worried, and they'll be scared if they get Tara Stanley with the ball in any kind of space.
Well, do you know, when you look at Tara Stanley, you talk about that left foot step, John, you wouldn't want to kick the ball over to England's left-hand side. You want to kick it to the other corner, take away that threat, because she is that dangerous at the back.
15th England appearance today. Made her debut back in 2011, and a Woman of Steel nominee back in 2018 as well. England now will hunt the mistake. 3 in the tackle there. Desperate to wrest possession back. No way through for Manon Samara. Elder of the 2 sisters in this French 17, alongside Doreen on the substitutes bench. Mansard gets that ball away, and Bessali.
That's great contact from Holly Dodd. She's had a great start to this game as well. Really strong running, strong tackling.
Elodie Pakul holds on. There's more than that. Some good meters after contact there. The Perpignan-born 28-year-old. Bessali again, but no way through this rock-solid England defence. Last one coming up. Kick under real pressure. And so Courtney Winfield Hill will pick things up just 40 metres away from that French line. No way through for Hardcastle initially.
Well, that was an outstanding set of 6 defensively. Amy Hardcastle.
Tackles complete, then knocked on, okay?
Just should have knocked that ball on. Yeah, France will get the ball here.
I tell you, it's going to be a really interesting battle. Baville's not taking a backward step. I'm sure she knows all about Amy Hardcastle. It's physical. And it's work as well after the initial contact. There's the kick pressure that forced from Georgia Roach and left England in this position, but they've squandered that opportunity, and the French regained possession 5 minutes prior to the halfway line. This is going to be a really interesting battle between Amy Hardcastle and Lauriane Baville. Lauriane Baville, she's spent time in the Australian Women's NRL.
That's right, 2 years with the Brisbane Tigers. She made her test debut against England at 17.
Wait for the outcall. Liaisi to play. Out!
Here is Varela, the French captain.
Come back. Wait. Go away.
Work from Holly Dodd in defence for England, but here is Margot Canal.
Wait. Go 2.
Mansard waits. Where inside is Baville. Tara Jones among those England tacklers.
Get square. Go 2. Not square. 3. Tackle 3.
Varela again to that left-hand side. Christina Songpush.
4.
One of the first female players to play in the Southern Hemisphere with the Burleigh Bears. Songpush. 10 away, France. Last one coming up. 15 minutes on the clock. Mansard gets the ball away and the kick is hoisted. It's going to be a test. And Courtney Winfield in exactly the right place and immediately taken down.
Yeah, well taken, under some pressure as well then, wasn't she? Winfield Hill.
Not involved.
Mansard just timed that to perfection when she could hit her. Look at that, as soon as the right foot touches the ground, she's hit, taken to ground. Amy Hardcastle now just trying to get her nose through the defensive line. She's been pretty solid down here.
10-minute hat-trick for Amy Hardcastle in Perpignan exactly 5 years ago. France offside and a chance for England to move firmly into that French half of the field now.
Did not think I'd be saying this with 15 minutes gone, but England needed that. They needed that break because the pressure from the French has been relentless. England need time with the ball. They need time in the right area of the field. Look, they're good enough. They're good enough to win this game, and they're good enough to win it well. But they've been put off that game plan in the initial opening quarter of an hour of a game by a very, very resilient French side.
Almost through. Jodie Cunningham flings the ball back. It's Jones who dives on it and keeps possession for England. Here now, Stanley. Into the tackle there of Gail Alvan.
Not square.
Jones again.
6 again, not square.
Grace Field.
There's another set restart being given by the referee. Too much going on at the play of the ball by the French.
And on the back of that was Georgia Roach. The runner is Holly Dodd, and Holly Dodd will strike for England. First blood to England, and Holly Dodd on her second international appearance. A sub on this ground last June against Wales, and now strikes against the French. They haven't had it at all their own way in the opening 17 minutes, but England strike first blood in Warrington. They lead by 4 points to 0.
No, you're right. They've been under some pressure. Holly Dodd's done a mountain of work in defence. 17 tackles in 17 minutes. And first over the try line. But what about that? The play from Georgia Roach in the build-up to just keep those two defenders in front of her honest. You look how deep she goes at the line, and she delivers that pass perfectly. And as soon as Dodd gets that ball, she goes through the line, a good right foot step to go past the fullback, Agpat. That's a quality try, that.
And there's so many different parts to this. I mean, first of all, the pass from the base of the ruck here from Tara Jones. This has got 10, 15 metres off, and it sings and gives Georgia Roach the time to go out the defensive line. It's a beautiful show and go as well from Holly Dodd. Lovely little right foot steps across. England get the breakthrough. Holly Dodd being at the centre of things. She gets the points on the board, but as you said, Terry, tops the tackle count as well by some margin.
2 tries in a week for Holly Dodd. Struck at Pandy Park. The kick from Stanley is successful, and England ahead by 6 points to 0.
Good passing. We've talked about this in the base of the ruck from Tara Jones and from Georgia Roach, but Tara Stanley's movement out the back as well confused that French defence, and that is as strong a lead line as you will see. And she may well smile. The opening try for England in a test match in what is actually quite an early part of the season in the women's game. They play the Challenge Cup from March until May. I think they've only played 3 rounds of the Women's Super League. They're still coming into the top levels of fitness, this England women's team. I'll tell you what, great ball movement, great setup, but it took that pressure release, didn't it, from France? It took a crack in that French defence at the other end of the field to allow England into that area where they are so dangerous.
Don't forget, this is the first act of a double header for you live on Sky Sports this afternoon. England face the combined Nations All-Stars following this one. That's a 5:45 kickoff. Sean Wayne and Ellery Hanley, former Wigan teammates, head-to-head, of course. And then it's England-France again, this time go head-to-head in a wheelchair international. That's live for you tomorrow, 3 o'clock, Sky Sports Arena. Jodie Cunningham for England.
Well, Jodie Cunningham on the back of that real strong carry from Liv Wood. Well, they get over the advantage line. They do play nice and aggressive, England. They've got players there that just don't deviate from the line this set.
Grace Field played the ball.
Which is again.
Good tackle. That's a really good tackle by the French.
Elodie Pacoul in there. Kick will come from Georgia Roach. Ricochets, and France have it back in a central position.
Well, it's really unfortunate that that's been adjudged a knock-on and an England scrum, because the strength of the tackle that preceded the last meant that Georgia Roach was under incredible pressure. The French were able to get the line speed. The kick was charged down and fell into French hands. It was Varela with the charge down, but there's just a knock-on there. You could argue that was a strip, actually. Pacoul could consider herself unlucky there.
England get the benefit
Let's come. EA.
A chance to post back-to-back tries. Stanley. Winfield Hill.
Stand! Wait.
Lauren Beville is the tackler. Here is Emily Rudge, the skipper.
Regularly. Good.
9 tries in the last 4 international appearances. Big collision with Shona Hoyle on from the substitute bench this afternoon.
Wait. Go.
Of St Helens, former Huddersfield player.
And then Georgia Rose just asking some questions, isn't she? Over on that right-hand side.
Tara Jones, Liv Wood. 2 in the tackle for France. Last one for England. Jones. Kick. Collected. Collected composedly by Manan Samara. England now will look for the field position, look to trap Song Poosh and France in this area.
Yeah, well, they look to really press hard, won't they? And win the battle. Down this end of the field, Mansard again from dummy half. She will try and go on to win, but that's some strong defence. 4 players just driving her back.
Back, Cara, back, wait.
Holly Dodd among them. Margot Canal. Wrestled to the ground by a combination there of Dodd and Tara Jones. France suddenly finding the meters harder to come by here as Basali tries to get them out of trouble. Cunningham and Shona Hoyle in defence for England.
Clear, offside.
Kick hammered downfield by Akper. And Stanley now to launch the counter for England.
Well, that was a good kick and a good chase, really. Split the winger and the fullback to get a few more meters.
Wait.
And a decent chase.
Caitlin Beavers now. Into the tackle of Pakul. Jones away for Hardcastle. Levels of excitement lift whenever the St Helens centre gets the ball. And on the back of that, Leah Burke. More good defence on show from France, though. England inside that France half of the field. Cunningham. Devastating step she has. Get round the tackle of Basali on that occasion. Here now is Roach. Just a kick behind Song Poosh. She's got work to do. She's done well to keep hold of possession there under real pressure.
Yeah, it's great work, isn't it, from Leah Burke? Great kick chase, great kick on the front foot, and now backing it up. They're pegged in the corner. French team. That's a good run from dummy half, though. Brave run from dummy half. But again, England forcing. Not a mistake. Referee said ball's gone backwards and play on.
Well, the strong defence then, it forces the player into make an offload, and now England just been penalised, just trying to defend and get off the line a bit too quick for the referee.
Yeah, I think take your pick there, Jodie Cunningham, Grace Field. He had a number stood in front of him. Jodie Cunningham, you saw just in the last passage of play, she ducked in back behind the ruck. And that's where she does most of her best work.
She was good last week against Wales. 3 tries that she came up with in the first half. Jodie Cunningham.
Stopping the progress of Gail Alvin. Good hands, though, from France. Hardcastle in attendance, though, for England alongside Winfield Hill.
Push forward, play on 2.
On Manan Samara, here is Mansart. She gets the pass away.
I got lost there.
Again, you've got to credit the defence. Like I said before, when France made the mistake down near the line, when you get hit as a player and you know it's a solid hit, you look to try and spin and offload the ball in really an impossible position. If you can't control the ball and get it to your teammates' hands, You just probably go through with that motion of offloading the ball because you've been dominated in defence.
I'll tell you what, I understand Syria's frustration there. I don't think there was anything wrong with that passage of play. It looked very much like an offload that went backwards. It's a late offload, but there's nothing wrong with that. It's gone to floor, picked up cleanly. Again, the French could consider themselves unlucky there, and they're on the back foot again. England coming at them.
Winfield Hill initially, and Stanley finds Goldthorpe, and Goldthorpe is quick. It's a really important tackle from Margot Canal. Quick play the ball though. Leah Burke on the back of it. Crossfield for now, and then dumped unceremoniously there by Mansar. What a hit.
Wait, go. 2.
Stanley again. This now is Holly Dodd. Look at this. Dodd plays the ball. Jones, Winfield Hill. Deeper is Cunningham, and Cunningham has support. And in the corner, Caitlin Beavers goes in for the second England try. They've crossed twice in less than 10 minutes after a great start from France. But Caitlin Beavers is all smiles, 20 years of age. Tries in both internationals last year against Wales and France, and she has struck again in Warrington.
I'll tell you what, Terry, you talked about Jodie Cunningham with 3 try assists last week. It all came from the supposed error there from France, and the frustration shown by Celia. She is annoyed that that decision went against her, but you've got to defend off the back of mistakes. This is great set-up play. Have a look at this out the back from Jodie Cunningham, sat in the full-back pocket. We know she's played plenty in the 6th position. Drifts across the defence, and then Caitlin Beavers does very well. You can be tempted to come in off your chalk. She doesn't. She holds a line. Cunningham pulls in the winger, and I tell you what, it's a decent finish. They've had very few opportunities at this end of the field, but that's executed really well. Just look how Cunningham, eyes up, waiting for the winger to commit, and Beavers in at the corner.
5th England appearance for Caitlin Beavers. 3 tries in the Challenge Cup already this year, and 1 in the Women's Super League as well. And a chance for Tara Stanley to extend this England lead from the sideline. It's a really good effort, but just wide of the target. But England in double figures, ahead by 10 points to 0.
Well, it's good attacking shape from Craig Richards' girls, the way that they're set up. And you've also got to give some credit to the number 11, Emily Rudge. The line that she's goes there, just holds up those French defenders. Jodie Cunningham out the back, hits Caitlin Beavers, but a strong line. Said before, whenever she gets the ball, she does make some damage, the captain, and she just set that try up for Beavers then over on the left with a determined run.
That's a perfect example, isn't it? If you are consistent in your work and what you do, and you hit those lines unconditionally, whether you're going to get the ball or not, then whenever opposition are doing the research on you, they have to account for that, and that ends up having those ripples in the defensive line because they're anticipating the ball coming to Rudge. It can be as effective without it as with it.
Vicky Whitfield on from the substitutes bench for England. That was a really good carry to start this set.
Square, wait, go 2.
Dodd plays the ball. Here now, Shona Hoyle.
Still 2.
England continue with Stanley.
Still 2.
She gets the ball away. Comes back though, and here is Emily Rudge. 2 around her. England trying to ramp things up right now. Looking for a couple of tries in a couple of minutes. As Winfield Hill gets the pass away again. It's Hardcastle, and she will not be stopped. And it is 2 tries in 2 minutes for England. And Amy Hardcastle has struck her 21st England appearance tonight. Named in the World Team of the Decade back in 2020. And Amy Hardcastle showing just how devastating she can be.
Well, some strong carries from the kickoff led to some decent field position, and England not overplaying, they're just playing what they see. And Courtney Hill, she goes at the line, and the gap just opens up for Amy Hardcastle. Whenever you watch Amy Hardcastle, she does grab the headlines. Just look how confident she is, the way she transfers the ball into the right hand just to get rid of the defender at par with her left hand if she comes anywhere near her.
A frontline NHS nurse as well, Amy Hardcastle through the horrors of COVID and been an incredible servant to St Helens as well, concurrently with that, and of course to England. 21st appearance, as I say, a try against Wales last week and player of the match. Half an hour gone and the scoreline looking a lot more healthy for England as Stanley puts over 2 more points. 16-0 now.
Yeah, it's the offloads, a series of offloads. Tara Jones waiting, and again Stanley. Look at this out the back door from Stanley. Fumbled by Cunningham, but into the hands of Emily Rudge, and it's the next play where the try scored. Look at the setup and the chat there from Courtney Hill. Getting Amy Hardcastle into position, draws into line and puts Hardcastle into a huge hole. She ducks back down on the inside and scores the left-hand side of the sticks. They've had to be patient of England, haven't they? But Hardcastle, we talked about the defensive duties. She had to be on the ball. That little mini battle that was going on with Lauriane Beville. Well, she's shown what she can do in attack.
Leah Burke.
Wait, the top.
Beg your pardon, it was Goldthorpe. Here now is Whitfield, whose carry started that move that culminated in that third England try.
Stop to the plaquage. One.
Well, they're desperate now, aren't they?
No, hold it.
This French side to slow England down.
Shona Hoyle.
A couple of carries, they're over the halfway line. And Cunningham linking up with Rudge.
Go, Tim, good.
Jones decided to run herself into the tackle of Maëlys Borak. Cunningham's pass, Winfield Hill. Now it's Roche.
It's okay.
And Stanley stepping brilliantly. Tara Stanley in the clear.
Oh.
The pass goes wide to Leah Burke, who can't take it in.
Did she need to pass?
It was unselfish play. I think if she has a time again, Tara Stanley, well, when she goes through here, John,
you're not passing
again, it's
this.
a good step, double step. You go through the gaps there, accelerate, go through it. She's outstanding, isn't she? She really does link up well. And she made the decision, like I said, unselfishly to deliver that pass to Leah Burke. Unfortunately, couldn't just execute it correctly.
Leah Burke, a Challenge Cup final try against Leeds last month as Saints emerged victorious at Ellen Road.
Continue to travailler avec moi dans le plaquage, s'il te plaît, okay? Stop there.
Just couldn't make the most of that opportunity, but
Time is on.
Craig Richards will be feeling a whole lot better after those 3 England tries.
Come back. Wait! Go, that's okay, 1. 2. Move! I can hold it.
Margot Canal is put to ground.
2.
Song Push.
3. Move! Back behind the line.
Tackle comes in from Grace Field.
6 again, out to the right. No, work harder, Tyler.
You know, the referee's keen on the tidying up round the ruck, another set restart, this time conceded by the English, so the French are going to get a little bit more time in possession here.
Borak played the ball. There's Basali.
2. Hold you, wait.
England men are in the house. George Williams and Alex Walmsley watching on. Alvin.
3.
Meanwhile for France.
Back we come, ladies. Wait, Tara Yard, please.
30 years of age, born in Albi.
Good work.
4th international appearance tonight.
Good tackle, Tara Jones, good anticipation.
Okay, take a 0.
It was Varela that just travelled a little bit too far with the ball.
Do you know, she gets through some work, doesn't she, Tara Jones? She effected that tackle and she's straight behind the ruck to pass the ball.
And England go without the ball again.
There's Vicky Whitfield that loses the ball.
2 knock-ons from France.
Well, just trying to get over the advantage line. Whitfield makes the mistake.
It's just fired a little bit too hard at Vicky Whitfield. She made some impact off the bench. She's been excellent, hasn't she, for St Helens this year?
Hold there, wait
Also a substitute in Perpignan last October.
Let's go. Out!
Can France post points before the break?
Wait, go one.
It's Burak who's moved into that hooking role.
Hands out. Go two.
No way through for Elisa Akpa. Good pass.
What a strong defence. Well, they're asking some questions, France, but England are turning up. And good pressure from marker from Amy Hardcastle.
As Beville's away.
Beville still going. Faced by Stanley, that was really important. And now the reinforcements have arrived. France just 5 metres away. Looking for their first points of the afternoon. To the left they go. That was Basali. The pass comes.
Nice offload.
And they're going to go to that left-hand side. They must win, surely. Has that ball gone over the line? They play the ball. They're going to score anyway. It's Song Poosh who's put it down.
Time off.
The referee's called time off to consult with his touch judge. I think this is going to be given.
To try.
And I'll tell you what, that's reward for some endeavour by the French. It was all started the other end of the other side of the field. Just that again, working that short side, a real theme of the French attack, and Song Poosh the eventual beneficiary on the far other side of the field. This is the break from Beville, and I think she's been one of the standout players for this French team. Tara Stanley forced into some rearguard action, and then the ball spun across. You felt the tackle before, it needed one extra pass. This pass here, if that could have been taken away, then there was a very near miss. I thought this on first glimpse was a try. I thought that was grounded on the line, but it mattered not because the ball went short side. It was Fran Goldthorpe sat on the inside. Leah Burke caught on the inside as well, and Song Poosh took advantage and dotted down in the corner. Take another look at this. This is the play before. I thought that was grounded on the line. Referee had said no, play on. So the French went, OK, we'll take another, and we'll be smart about that, and we'll score on the short side. Great work. That's a great riposte.
Well, it took 79 minutes in Perpignan 8 months ago for France to cross the English line in the shape of Melanie Bianchini. It's taken just 35 in Warrington. And Vincent Boulou be delighted his side have trouble the scoreboard. Syria will attempt to improve matters from the sideline. Picture of concentration. Can she succeed where Tara Stanley failed? So narrowly missed, but France on the board. They trail by 16 points to 4, and a great time having posted points. We can hear from the French assistant down there, Frankie Goffin. Frankie, you must be delighted with the start, first of all, and also to get on the score sheet.
Yeah, well, really happy for the first 20 minutes. We did absolutely well. We just controlled the game and the ball. And the thing is, when you leave the ball or lost the ball, if you give that to England squad, we should be really hard to... you know, they score all the time, and they control. They are really fast and play the ball, and we just to try to find something in half time between us and them. So I'm pretty happy for the first 20 minutes, but we have to control the game first.
Thanks very much, Frankie. That's great.
Cheers.
France will have possession, or will they? That's so unlucky again for the visitors, who are going to have to drop out in a minute.
Yeah, well, concentration just lets them down then. It was so good down near the try line. To get over the try line, he's just seen the amount of French players in the frame. And a great kick from Tara Stanley to put some pressure now. And just under, 2 minutes to go before half time. And he goes short. And is it Tara Jones that comes up with it?
Jones for England just 12 metres away. This would be particularly damaging for France if England were to go over again from this mistake, just as France had got themselves a foothold in the game. Here now is Whitfield. 10 away.
3.
Winfield Hill.
It's okay.
Lots of options. Takes the ball herself. Tackle came in from Montserrat. Here now Shona Hoyle gets the pass away to Whitfield.
Good defence from France, so they've got one more tackle to hold out.
Yeah, one chance for Craig Richards' side. Ball goes to that right-hand side, and it's a great tackle again.
That's a fantastic tackle. It's a try-saving tackle from Song Poo. She was the try-scorer 3 minutes ago at the end of the field, and then reads that well, actually not reads it, adjusts magnificently well to pull down Leah Burke.
Fantastic defence from Song Poosh as we move into the final minute.
Wait. Clear the rack. Go.
Well, we wanted a test. We wanted a test. We've got one. This is a much improved French side. As physical as we know them to be in the middle. There's some pre-line passing going on as we've known them to do. The short side work has been good when they've had the chance. The defence has been exceptional.
Malise Gorak.
Come on. Wait, go for.
Pakul plays the ball. Ball unloaded in the tackle, still alive. Basali has it. Cunningham in there for England. And that's the end of a compelling first half. And England certainly not having things their own way, as many expected going into this. France bossing things early on, but 3 tries to England put them 16-0 up. Christina Song Poosh has struck back for the visitors, but plenty for Craig Richards to think about at half-time. At the break, England ahead by 16 points to 4.
You are not wrong, Ben, thanks to you.